This case feels like suspenseful thriller but rooted in reality. 5 bodies, 5 young lives cut brutally short. A killer who didn't just murder, he played with his victims. And a college town that would never sleep soundly again. This is the story of the Gainesville Ripper. On August 24, 1990, a Friday night in Gainesville, Florida, students laughed, drank, made plans for the weekend. But in one small apartment just off campus, 2 roommates had no idea they were being watched. Sunja Larson, 18 years old, bright, ambitious, just starting her freshman year at the University of Florida. Christina Powell, 17, her best friend. They'd only lived together for a few weeks. They still had unpacked boxes in their rooms. They never saw him coming. The killer slipped in through the sliding glass door. No forced entry, no struggle, just silence. And then, the unthinkable. When police arrived the next morning, they found a scene so horrific, even seasoned detectives froze. The girls weren't just killed. They were posed, displayed, as if the killer wanted them to be seen. And the worst part? He wasn't done. 3 days later, another apartment, another pair of students. Tracy Poles, 23. Manuel Tabawada, 23. Friends, just gone. The same method, the same brutality, the same staging. This wasn't just murder. This was a performance. And the audience? Everyone who dared to look. The city erupted in terror. Students fled campus. Parents demanded answers. And the police, they had nothing. No suspects, no motive, just 5 bodies. And a killer who vanished into the night. But then, a break in the case. His name was Danny Rolling, 35 years old, a drifter, a thief, a man with a lifetime of violence trailing behind him. Had been in and out of jail for years. Armed robbery, assault. But this was different. This was something darker, something inhuman. In his own words, he later described the killings as taking their souls. He didn't just want them dead. He wanted them remembered. But pride would be his downfall. When police finally caught him after a botched robbery in neighboring Ocala, they didn't know they had the Gainesville Ripper. Not at first, but the evidence, the DNA, the chilling confessions. It all pointed to one man. Danny Rolling stood trial in 1994. He showed no remorse, no fear, only satisfaction. Judge verdict death by injection. And on October 25, 2006, the state of Florida made sure he never killed again. 5 innocent lives, a killer who walked among them, and a question that still lingers in the humid Florida air. Was Danny Rolling truly alone that summer? Or was there something, or someone, else lurking in the shadows? The case is closed, but the fear remains. 3 boys walked into a field with a girl they called their friend. Only 2 of them came out covered in blood. This is not a horror movie. This happened in real life. Her name was Elise Poller. She was 15 years old. And what those boys did to her in the name of Satan will haunt you forever. California, July 1995. Picture the perfect American suburb: white picket fences, little league games, Slayer posters hidden in teenage bedrooms, especially in Joseph Fiorella's bedroom. Joseph and his friends Royce Casey and Jacob DeLashmet didn't just listen to heavy metal. They worshipped it. More accurately, they worshipped what they thought it represented. Power, darkness, Satan. In their notebooks, between doodled pentagrams and Slayer lyrics, a plan was taking shape. Not a fantasy, not a game, a blood ritual. And they needed one crucial ingredient: a virgin sacrifice. Enter Elise Poller, honors student, animal lover, the girl who brought cookies to new neighbors. The perfect victim precisely because she was too kind to suspect her own friends. July 22nd started like any summer day. Elise told her parents she was going to hang out with friends. The last words she ever said to them, "I love you." The last words Joseph said to her, "Kneel down. This won't hurt." He lied. 30 stab wounds. That's not murder. That's overkill. That's frenzy. That's devotion to something unholy. When they were done, they arranged her body like an offering, because that's exactly what she was to them, an offering to the devil in exchange for musical talent. Then they went home, ate dinner, slept in their beds. While Elise's parents plastered the town with missing posters, her killers were right across town, listening to Altar of Sacrifice on repeat. For 48 days, Elise's body decomposed in that field. Then a hiker smelled something sweet and rotten. The crime scene photos show something the prosecutors would later call theatrical, because this wasn't just a killing. It was a performance for an audience of one. Their imagined Satan. The confession came easy, too easy, like they were proud. Joseph even drew detectives a map. "We needed to kill for power," he said. Not pleaded, not apologized, said, like he was explaining a science project. At trial, the defense tried to blame the music. But Slayer didn't stab Elise 30 times. 3 human beings did. And when the judge sentenced them to 25 to life, you know what these Satan-worshipping tough guys did? Cried like the children they still were. Today, all 3 killers remain behind bars. Joseph Fiorella's been denied parole 4 times. When asked if he regrets it, he says yes. But not for Elise, for getting caught. And Elise? She has a memorial tree at Arroyo Grande High, a plaque that calls her beloved. But walk past it at night, when the wind moves the branches just right. And some say you can still hear whispering, not prayers, lyrics, from an album these boys played on loop the night they became monsters. This case raises questions we're still scared to answer. When does teenage rebellion become evil? Can music really corrupt souls? Or were these boys just born broken? Hit subscribe while you think about it. Because the scariest stories aren't the ones with monsters. They're the ones where the monster looks just like the boy next door.